Alright guys, we are in our third set of 3 matches. This is where things usually start to solidify players' positions in the group.
Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen now, because if Happy, who's already 0-2 in the group, is going to lose the next game against Squirtle, then he has no chance of advancing to Codes. He might be able to get 3rd place and then play in our wildcard group on Friday, but no chance to advance straight to Codes. Here are the rankings. Tasia and Squirtle leading the charge with a 2-0.
Yeah, most people expected them to be the ones getting out of this group, and so far, so good for them.
I like the new songs, by the way.
Yeah, they're pretty good this season.
Quick shout out to BK and his team. They are always doing a great job with the songs, and always gives me a lot of inspiration when I need new music. Well, at this point now, we have the game between Squirtle and Happy, as mentioned, and Happy needs a win here. If he loses, then he might be able to get 3rd place, and guys, there has to be a slight change. It is a bit of an irregularity, but we have now the wildcard group. The 3rd place in each group is going to advance to the wildcard group on Friday, where all these 3rd place players have another chance to get into Codes. So it's pretty awesome. I like it a lot. And this is one of the chances that all of them have. And if Happy loses to Squirtle, then this is the only chance that he has left. Squirtle was looking strong and dominant today. He wants to get back into Codes. He was not happy with his performance in the last few weeks. And he told me that he really prepared well. He wants to do it now. And if he continues to play like he did in the last 2 games, then he can definitely pull it off.
Yeah, man. This seems to be his time. Happy, though, is in dire straits right now. He is 0-2 in this group, the opposite end of Squirtle. And if he doesn't take Squirtle out here, he's basically got no chance at Codes. And is going to have to hope and pray for a 3rd place spot.
We are going into the game right now. Daybreak is the map for Terran vs. Squirtle. Squirtle vs. Happy. Brought to you by Colin Wolf. Starting to the top right, starting for LGIM, we have our Terran player in purple. He is 0-2 in the group, and his ID is
LGIM Happy.
I almost spilled tea all over my keyboard, man. I had like almost a heart attack.
Well, bottom left now we have in teal our Protoss player for Team Startail. Looking good so far today. 2-0, didn't lose a single map. He's the water Pokemon. Yes.
Startail Squirtle.
Shiggy.
I gotta say, you know, I know you said you didn't really like these teas. And I've been trying all of them because right now we're out of coffee here for some reason.
Oh, I have to say that when Grubby came over, he convinced me to try black tea again. And I actually really like it. So I've been going a bit UK style. When I was in Australia, a lot of the guys from the UK used a bit of milk with their tea, and that's what I'm currently doing. So the black tea that Grubby showed me, I really like it. I have like a lot of it back home now. So every morning when I wake up, the first thing they're gonna do is gonna give me a bit of tea. I really like it. But those teas that we have here, not really my style.
I've been trying all of them. This is, I think, the 4th different flavor that they have here that I'm trying now, and it's, I have to say they're okay, but they're not as bad as you thought, I think. Or as, my opinion is different than yours, but
yeah.
I think they're not too bad.
It's just not really.
It's not.
It's literally not my cup of tea.
It's.
I knew you were going for the same thing, but I was like, no, I'm going to beat you to it.
You got me there, but. You know, I was also going to say it's just not Maxime coffee, man.
Yeah.
That's the global standard for instant coffee. Look at that. Double gas for Squirtle versus Happy's hidden barracks with gas.
What was really happening today when we watched Squirtle play was he had a strategy prepared for every single map for his opponents. And this is always what you have to try to do when you go in the up and downs. There were so many foreigners already that got up and down seeds, that found himself in the up and downs. I mean, we're talking about Mana here, we're talking about players like Grubby, Naniwa. It doesn't really matter, but all of them are always faced with the same question. Which games do I prepare for the most? Which opponent do I analyze the most? I have to divide the time that I have available to make the best out of it. So which maps are going to give me the most trouble? And Squirtle is a player that showed us that he can really prepare for his opponents. He did so on both maps. We saw him with a great strategy against Dream on Cloud Kingdom that never allowed Dream to get his macro game up. So now he's up against Happy, another fellow Terran player on Daybreak, and I'm really excited to see what Squirtle is going to do here. Happy is on his last leg if he wants to get a direct seat into Codes. So at this point, all the pressure is on him.
Yeah, you're right. And, you know, you have to wonder what strategy is he going for? He starts the starport now. He's got his bunker. Everybody seems to be doing this strategy today, except Dream. Well, he actually did it in transition into a late game, but regardless, this type of strategy is so popular in Korea. And he, though, is going Banshees rather than going for the Hellions. So this is something that could really catch a player like Squirtle off guard. It may mess up Squirtle's specific builder. Squirtle, though, with how he's playing this so far, looks extremely standard. There's nothing weird or... this doesn't look like, okay, Squirtle's got something special planned here. It looks like he just wants to play late game.
I don't really think that Squirtle is going to take the risk that we saw Trap take earlier against Tasia when he refused to build a robotics, but just gambled a bit. Because if Squirtle does it here and goes into a Twilight, which would be really, really surprising, then Happy, of course, has kind of a build order win here with the Cloak already on the production tab. Squirtle, with 2 additional gateways after his initial one gate into Expand, will most likely drop the Robo very, very soon. And then he has to scout, of course, what's going on, and it will all be a question of where exactly is the Observer when Happy's Banshee arrives.
Banshee, number 1, is very delayed by Happy's supply block, actually. It's, I would say, about 15 in-game seconds behind where it would normally be because of that supply block. So this is actually going to affect things quite a bit.
The 4th gate for Squirtle.
And this actually puts us at the same place that we saw Trap at earlier.
Look at the sentries that we have for him. He has how many sentries already? He's
6.
investing all his gas in the sentries. 6 sentries, which means that his robotics is very much delayed. He's trying to go for gateway aggression here, and this Banshee is going to work out so well for Happy.
Yeah, there's going to be no detection whatsoever.
Squirtle has a big problem, especially he gets 3 Stalkers. He really wants to go for aggression, and the big problem that he's facing is that, of course, now he has to invest his gas, which means he can't get the Robo. The Banshee is on the way to the bottom left. Oh, wow. This is going to be the question, who dies first?
Yeah, and I think the answer might be... Well, let's see.
It might be Happy.
There's no SCV repair. He actually runs past the bunker.
He ignores the bunker. He loses 1 sentry and goes up the main base.
He can force field the Marines out. He does.
Can he take down... He needs to try to shut down the starport. That would be awesome for him. If there's only 1 Banshee, that would be important. Cloak is already finished, Squirtle. Can you make sure that the 2nd Banshee doesn't arrive? This would be the most important thing.
Oh, the SCV has escaped! He misses the force field, now he goes down the ramp.
He builds the Robo. He builds the Robo and he proxies the Robo.
That's the most
really important.
part, yeah.
Exactly, because if he builds in the main base, then Happy sees it and can take it down, but he knows that he's in a little bit of trouble. Squirtle, that is. The 2nd Banshee is out, the Robo is there. Who dies first? This is exactly what it's about right now. We have a bit of an elimination race here.
Yeah, and as that Banshee just spawned, it doesn't have a lot of energy, so it's going to run out, so he needs to save it. If he actually lets that Banshee run out of energy and it dies, he's going to be so sad.
The sentries are dying. Most of them are dead. Only 1 survives. Now the Banshee out of energy.
I can't really imagine Squirtle winning this game. In fact, there's a 2nd Tech Lab finishing up on that starport. Instead of moving it to a safer location, he actually just took the risk of starting it right away.
You can't see him winning it, you can't see him losing it.
Well, you know, if he doesn't...
He has 21 Harvesters.
Yeah, and he doesn't
if he gets the Observers out, he's going to be fine here. He takes down the starport. Yeah. Now he sees at the bottom the robotics.
Is out, you're right.
First Observer is out. I actually think that Squirtle has a great position here.
Yeah, I actually completely agree with you. I misinterpreted the robotics position. I thought it was closer to where the fight was taking place. But he got the Observer out now. And now SCVs are not going to win this fight.
Nah, Happy might be able to kill the Robo, but it doesn't really matter with 2 Observers on the map. So right now, Squirtle, that was a close one though. I mean, that could have ended differently. But
I actually thought he lost his robotics. I'm sorry guys, like I had a moment of weirdness there. I thought he lost his Robo and I was like, oh, he can't win.
Completely fine. That was a bit of a weird game that we saw here. So a bit anticlimactic at the end, but this proved just to be Squirtle a bit too fast with his attack doing a lot of damage. The initial Banshee was already on the way to the bottom left. He decided to send it to the base to take down the economy, which was a good call, but then he didn't have enough to stop the onslaught of Squirtle. So Squirtle takes a risk here and is rewarded. Nice game, takes a 3-0 in the group, which also means that with an 0-3, Happy has no chance of advancing to Codes. He might still get 3rd place though.
Yeah, he might. That's going to be a crushing defeat, especially mentally. I mean, considering how close it was, if he had found the Robo, That's why I said, I thought the Robo was dead. That's why I said there was no chance he could win, because he even had another Banshee potentially to get out. If he had put his Starport in a better place, then it would be just too many Banshees. He would eventually kill Squirtle slowly but steadily with Cloak Banshees.
Yeah, if the Robo dies and he has no detection, then it's going to be a longer game. It's dragging everything out, but in the end, Happy would have been most likely the victor. But as it is, 2 observers were just too much. Then we had the Stalkers. We only had 2 Banshees on the map. So, well played by Squirtle. Takes the game and, yeah, leads the group now. A great lead. And now we have our next map. It's going to be Trap versus Shine.
Yeah,
Shine losing a game earlier.
It's on Abyssal City, so this is a tough map for us to take a third on. We've talked about this before in so many different cases. Honestly, in my personal opinion, I can't believe this map is still in the pool, but we'll see what Trap has planned. We talked about this earlier. This is a map where Kessel players probably don't have as much experience as they would on other maps. He looked decent against Dream, though, even after being behind. He was able to take a third base, so maybe he can do the same against the Zerg player.
But Trap is now in the same position that Happy was in. He's 0-2 in the group and he needs a win. As Shine, of course, also wants to have still a shot. He still has a shot at getting into Codes. Trap, if he loses here, can hope for a third place, but that's all there's to it. So very, very difficult for him. And Abyssal City is not an easy map. It's horrible for Protoss. He might go for a 2-base timing. That's something that we saw Parting do against DRG. We've seen other players do it. Third base is difficult to hold. And Shine doesn't strike me as a Zerg player that gives you a lot of openings if you really open yourself up.
Exactly. I'm waiting to see what Trap is playing. I want to see a Kessel player do the Immortal push. I want to see if they can do it. I want to find out. We're about to find out if he wants to try it. It's Abyssal City. Shine up against Trap here at the GSL up and down matches cast by Counter Wolf.